am super happy to be here with you guys today. I was looking in the chat, so I'm so eager to jump in. I was looking in the chat and I see people from Pennsylvania, Louisiana, South Africa. You know what? You guys could be anywhere in the world, but you're here, right here with me. And so it is my hope that you walk away. I saw someone said, "Hey, I need some of this AI fueled I can't remember the exact verbiage, but I am ready to give it to you." So we're gonna jump right into my presentation. Let's see here. Can everyone, nope, not yet, not yet. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you now, let me forewarn you. I'm very interactive. I'm going to have you dropping me's in the chat, ones in the chat. So if you're all about that, if you're okay with being interactive with me, it's like I tell people, you talk to me, I talk back, right? We're going to make this from Jamaica. Someone's from Peter, you're from Jamaica? Yes. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So today's conversation is around not getting left behind, you right? So how to ethically use AI in your business without losing your secret sauce. Okay? Now, first question of the day. How many of you feel like AI is just moving super fast? Right? Drop a me in the chat if you think that um AI is just moving super fast. Every day it's something new. We wake up to news, there's a new platform. I see a bunch of me's in the chat, and sometimes it's overwhelming, right? I'm super enthusiastic about AI. I love all things AI, but even I get overwhelmed at times. But what this means, and what I want to talk to you about a little bit today, is that you don't have to let the things that you value, what makes you you, that doesn't have to fall behind while you're learning how to leverage AI in your business. You can use AI to really help make your brand strong. In this digital landscape, it just feels like it's a lot of noise. And some people are sounding like the other person next to them. They're sounding really robotic because they don't take the time to really learn the tool and use it to their advantage. They're not making authentic content and they're not building systems that work for them, right? I want to encourage you to build a system that works for you. Not every tool will work for you, but again, through learning and understanding who you are, you can make the best decision for you and your business. So, you didn't know that you were going to get an accountability partner today, did you? Guess what? You are. It's me, right? Well, who am I? So, I am the CEO of LexLink Business Solutions. I have I see you, Deb. I know I need an accountability partner. I'm a certified AI consultant, so I did successfully complete Alicia's AI certification program. And I'm a global HR strategist. I've been in human resources for over a decade and a half. I know I don't look a day over 25, but I've been in human resources a decade and a half. I've trained over 100 leaders in leadership development. I have a master's degree in education with an emphasis in human resources development. I'm a proud U.S. Army veteran, and my mission is simple, right? I want to empower entrepreneurs or professionals to integrate and step into AI as it pertains to their organization. And I want you guys to bring it into your sphere ethically and strategically. Remember, I said, hey, every AI platform is not going to be for you. So, again, we're going to take some time to figure out what that looks like. Always remember, AI should amplify your voice, not erase it. Okay? If you don't remember anything else I tell you, use AI to amplify who you are, not replace you. All right, so today we're going to talk about what's really going on with AI, right? What's the risk? Oh, you guys are so welcome. I see I'm looking over at the chat too, so I want to make sure I'm shouting you guys out. What's really going on with AI? The risk of losing your voice in this digital noisy world. The three pillars of ethical AI use that I use. I'm going to show you some tools that I use to help keep me authentic, and hopefully they'll do the same thing for you. We're going to have a real conversation, brief conversation about the biases and some of the things that you can do to create those boundaries within your business. I'm going to give you an opportunity to experience some quick wins, and I'm going to give you a free gift. But here's the catch: you have to stay until the end. Deal? If you're okay with that, drop a one in the chat. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, all this buzz around AI, and it's good and bad, but we're going to talk about the good for a little bit. AI is no longer the future. It is now. It is here. Do you guys feel that? Right? AI is we it seems like a couple months ago everyone said AI's coming, AI's here, AI's coming, it's here. No, it's here. And it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. 78%. There was I've been reading some information, and I'll tell you where I get my stats and all that information from in just a moment. But I was reading through some articles, and I pulled out some alarming stats, right? 78% of businesses are using AI in some capacity. Okay, whether it's ChatGPT, whether they have an ingrown internal system, they've self-disclosed that, hey, we're utilizing AI in some capacity over multiple years, the last several multiple years, we've seen a 290% increase in the growth on AI adoption. So it seems like when I mean, AI has already always been around, but there was this heavy, really focus on it several years ago. And now, over the last couple of years, we've seen more businesses, more individuals really start to integrate different AI solutions in their personal and professional life. Individuals are also saying that, hey, I'm seeing some time savings here, anywhere from 12 to 15%. I'm able to save some of the time that I've been using to maybe do administrative tasks, right? For example, with the help of AI tools. I remember reading an article not too long ago where it stated that professionals in the workplace were saying, hey, I'm able to save an hour a week at least, utilizing and leveraging AI. What I wouldn't give to save an hour a day, right? There seems to be more stuff piling on our plates every day. So the real flex here is to use AI without losing your magic or your secret sauce, as I like to call it. Now, for all of you that own, well, it's not even for all of you that own a business, but I do want to talk specifically to the business owners. But even in for those professionals on the call today, the risk of losing your voice, right? If you're utilizing AI, well, let me ask a question first. How many of you can tell a chat GPT post when you see it? Drop a one in the chat if you can see. If you can look at a post and tell, you know what they wrote that with. Someone said one, 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 one. It's evident. It's the emojis. It's the robotic talk that Tina says sometimes. We see it, right? And it's because individuals are just copying and pasting the flowery descriptions, right? And so you have to take time. I always tell people you have to take the time to train your tools on who you are, right? Because again, you're going to sound like everyone else. And what happens when we're all singing in the choir? We may make beautiful music, but guess what? Your individual voice gets drowned out, and we don't want that. Also, there's two other risks, right? You can cause brand confusion. So if you're sounding like everyone else, um, your customers may think that, okay, you're everyone else. You could be giving inconsistent messaging, which confuses your customer, which ultimately breaks their trust with you. And we don't want that, right? We want our customers to know our voice, know what we stand for, trust that we're giving them the correct information. We want all of that. So again, take the time to really sit down and focus and train the tools that you have. So again, in this digital crowded space, understanding that your voice is your currency, and that's ultimately what you're going to use to get closer to your customers. So the three pillars of ethical use that I use near and dear to my heart is when I started using ChatGPT, I had to gain clarity, right? I had to gain clarity on who I was because I was actually transitioning from corporate America into entrepreneurship, and that's a transition. How many folks in the room are doing that? Or you're balancing corporate America profession while developing your business. I see a bunch of me's in the chat, and that's often it's a tough space to be in. So I had to gain clarity on Miss Blue, you're not seeing anything on the screen? Is everyone able to see my slides? Let me make sure. Okay, everyone's saying yes. Miss Blue, I'm
Yes,
not.
we're seeing it.
Okay, okay. Just wanted to make sure. So I had to gain clarity on who I was. I already knew what I valued, right? But I had to get clear on what's my tone as an entrepreneur and who's my audience. So that was step one. Step number two, I had to control the tools. The tools don't control me. So I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. So I use ChatGPT an awful lot, and I've given it a nickname, Chat Keisha. I know I'm not the only one in the room that has given their ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Copilot a name. You can feel free to share the names in the chat if you like. But Chat Keisha often gives me these. I see a couple names. So, Keisha will often give me some recommendations, and I'm like, oh, I see George, I see Kyle, Al, right? Mo girl. So Keisha will give me these examples that I'm like, no, and I'll go back to her. I'm like, hey girl, hey sis, this doesn't apply to my business. Like, do you know my voice? What is my voice? And I have her repeat it back to me. Um, and so, again, I want to make sure that we're always in lockstep and we're aligned because, again, you are here as a resource for me. I'm not just going to take everything you say or um, every suggestion or recommendation you give me and just launch it into my business. We're not doing that. So you want to make sure, again, the clarity, the control, understanding the role of the tool in your organization, and then consent, being transparent. I tell anyone that will listen, I use ChatGPT, right? I utilize AI, right? It's still me. A lot of people, they're like, is Chat Keisha like your sister? No, I'm just taking the opportunity to really train her so she sounds like me and she represents how I would say different things. So, here are some tools that help keep me in alignment with who I am and keep me authentic. ChatGPT, right? I think we all know that. Perplexity, if you haven't seen that, you'll get to see it in a moment. Brandwell AI, I utilize that. I actually started utilizing that one most recently, probably about 3 weeks ago. I think it's been 3 weeks ago. It's been fairly recent, 3 weeks or a month ago. Um, and then Canva. Where all my Canva folks at? Drop a me in the chat. Here I am. I see you, little Toya. Me. We love Canva. um, so one thing before I go into, oh my God, you've been in Canva since 2017. Wow. Wow. You're a Canva novice, Michelle. Okay. I have been in Canva. Oh my God, I switched businesses a couple times. I've had Canva for a while. Now I can tell you that I most recently stepped into a lot of the features that it has, but yeah, I've been on Canva for quite a while. Remember, before I get into the demos, that you have to feed the tools your voice, right? You have to feed the tool who you are, and not someone else. So being very clear on who you are as a person, who you are as an entrepreneur, who you are as a CEO. I saw someone say, hey, mine has multiple personalities. It's probably because we are multifaceted people. I'm not just one thing all the time. And my chat GPT knows that. Now, some people will argue and say, hey, you're giving it too much information. Right. Each one has a job to do, but you have to tell it. It is no different than you hiring an employee to come into your organization. You have to tell it what you want it to do. You have to allow that person to understand who you are. And over time, it gets to know you a little bit better and better, and it starts delivering better as well. So, again, it's very important for you to take the time up front to really train your tools that you will be using. All right. So now I am going to stop stop sharing. Actually, I didn't need to do that, but doing things the hard way today. All right. So I'm going to reshare my screen. I don't know why I did that. Go back here. Get rid of that. All right. And share. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? What do you see here? Is it Chat GPT? Do you see that? Okay. Yes. Good. It's a, we always, when we're presenting, before we're presenting and we're doing tech checks, things run so smoothly. And then once you get in front of people, you're not quite sure. So, so with ChatGPT, Keisha, yes. You see Keisha, she's been working. Oh my goodness, she's tired. She's tired of me. Um, what I always tell people to do, and hopefully you all have done this, is that when I said spend time training your tools on who you are, in ChatGPT, there's a customized ChatGPT section. Um, and again, the more I talk about this, a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that was there." And I always tell them that you should spend time customizing your ChatGPT in the background, right? I tell Keisha what she should call me, what I do. I have 3 businesses, what traits I have, right? I've been very, very descriptive with that. And anything else in addition to what's above that I want her to know about me. And I did say her. Um, and she sounds like a her too as well. But I really took the time, as you can see, you're probably like, oh my God, that's too much information. But that's how I'm able to get responses that are specific to who I am because I took the time, had a conversation, and provided this information. So again, if you've not done that to amplify your results, you definitely want to do that here. Also, if I can close it, maybe. Okay. So when I start conversations, and depending upon what business or project I'm in, um, so I'll make sure that in that conversation that Keisha knows my voice or knows what I'm asking of her, right? And if there are any questions, I clarify that. So I'm going to walk you through I created a carousel on, well, in Canva for Instagram. And so this is the actual finished product, but I requested some information from ChatGPT. I said, hey, I want to do a carousel reel about how the workforce or the workplace is changing as it pertains to um, AI. You having 3 businesses, how do you separate it in ChatGPT? I've created separate folders and projects. So I have one for one business, one for another. And so I keep all those conversations in the project area. Does that answer your question? Hope that's it. Okay. So I get all the information from ChatGPT. I don't, yep, create customized chatbots too. You're right, Elise. When I get the information, like the rough draft of the information from ChatGPT, I'll take that information. How do you do the separate? How do you set up a separate folder? Let's see. Here where it says project, that's how I create it. Yeah. So it's just different projects. And then once I'm in there, you can have different different conversations based upon what you're doing. Oh, that is a paid chat GPT for the folders. My bad. I do have a paid account. I should start by saying that. I do have a paid account with ChatGPT. I just recently started with Perplexity and have a paid account too as well. But I was doing some of these things before in Perplexity without having the paid account. So what you'll do is you'll get the idea from ChatGPT of what you want to include, right? If there's stats, I always tell people double check stats. And that's what I use Perplexity for. How many of you, if you've heard of Perplexity, um, drop a one in the chat. If you haven't heard of Perplexity, drop a two in the chat. Okay, I see a couple. I see a lot of ones. I see some loves. Okay, there's a couple twos. So for the folks that have never seen Perplexity, I always tell people, I describe it as Perplexity is like Google on steroids, right? If you agree with me, drop a one. Because what I love about Perplexity is that you can ask it a question and it'll summarize the information for you and also give you the articles where you can read about it or reference it for yourself, versus with Google, you type it in, you have to click in every article, you have to read through it and kind of summarize it for yourself. I use it as, again, a fact checker, because why? We want to make sure that we are that you are reporting things and sharing things from your perspective that are accurate, that don't have any biases, that it's not Wikipedia, it's Forbes, it's somewhere that's uh, a certified source. I always have issues saying that word, reliable source. So again, that's why I use Perplexity. Is this a paid account too for Perplexity? This is, but there is a free version, and I used the free version for a long time before I actually went into doing a paid account. So I did everything, like, really, again, I'm fact checking. The free is great. I just did it because started seeing myself using it a lot more. And I don't know if you can actually take the images. Like, I snipped an image and put it in there and said, "Hey, is this accurate?" Right? So I don't know, if I can't remember if I could do that with the free account, but there are a couple things that I wanted to do that I couldn't do. That's what made me go to the paid. Yeah, and you get the three searches. So also, with it being the limited searches and the fact that I use this so much, that was another reason that pushed me to paid. But again, free is good. Getting back to because I can go down the rabbit hole. So if you see me veering off, kind of move me back, because this is something I love to talk about. So I'll ask, Perplexity, is this accurate? Just as something simple as that. And it'll tell me, right? And what it's basically telling me, I did a snippet of this slide. So I took a picture of it and I asked it, "Hey, is this accurate?" And it basically told me, "Hey, sort of, kind of, right? 78% of companies." Now, typically people do round up, so that's okay. But understanding that, because if you have someone in your audience that says, "Hey, no, Tiffany, it's actually 78%," I'm like, "Okay, well, I use the rounding rule. You are right. Based upon X resource, it is 78%, but for rounding purposes, I did round up." Okay. It also gives you a summary table, right? What's the statement? Is it sort of supported by data? Mostly yes. Here are the sources, right? And you can click in them, you can put them in your presentations. I like to use Perplexity when I'm using Gamma AI, which is an AI app that allows you to create PowerPoint presentations, because Gamma AI will give you a lot of stats, a lot of different case studies, and you want to make sure, again, if you're presenting that information on behalf of yourself or the company, that you're really doing it and it's accurate. So anytime I get stats or case studies, I'm going to put it in Perplexity, make sure I get the sources so I can support what I'm doing and really feel confident about the information that I'm providing. Does that make sense? Someone says I haven't played a lot with Gamma AI or Gamma yet. It's definitely, I mean, it's a tool. It used to take me about 30 minutes to do PowerPoint presentations, sometimes 45 minutes. And now it's cut down to literally I have the structure in 5 minutes, and then I go in and tweak and do my ethical AI, my due diligence search of the information that's in there. Peter says, I always ask it to quote its sources so I can do my other checks. Exactly. That's part of your ethical AI governance within yourself. So you want to, again, make sure that you're able to support any information that you're providing. So again, that's why I love Perplexity. Now, once I get, and I feel comfortable with the information, then I use brandwell.ai as an AI checker. Now, this is free and it's still free. I gave this presentation a couple weeks ago and someone asked, did I have the paid version? I'm like, nope, this is a free resource. And what it does, it'll tell you um, if something sounds like a human or if it sounds like AI. So remember when we said a lot of brands or um, a lot of people, a lot of companies, they sound the same. It's because they're copy and pasting it and taking it out of ChatGPT and just putting it as a social media caption or social media content. So you want to make sure that, well, first of all, how many of you have heard of Brandwell AI? Drop a one in the chat if you have, drop a two if you've not. One, two, two, two. There's a mix. I used to use Grammarly, but I like Brandwell a little bit better. And I will show you, give you an example of that. I'll try to, this looks very AI-ish. So what you'll do is you'll take the contents that you get, um, copy and paste it, put it in there, and then it's processing. Oh, it says it passes as human. All the emojis kind of give it a robotic feel to me. Let's see if there's something else. Because I know I typically tell it, hey, I need for this to, I don't know if I have another example. Ooh. But it will say, if it doesn't pass as a human, it's going to say that, hey, this sounds like AI. And it gives you like this red, it's not green, it's red. And if it's kind of in between, like it's hard to tell, it'll say unable to tell, or it's like it could be, right? So it's yellow. So green is good, red is AI, and then the yellow is kind of like caution, it could be, right? And so when you're ready to put in something else, you can just go in, reset it. And I do this all day. Yes, Alicia has. And that's what made me actually start using this, because Alicia had shared it and I actually like this better. Yes, Tina, I use the free version, so I'm not paying for I'm not paying for this. Um, does it pass as human because you trained your AI? Maybe. I think uh Dr. Marlene Allen, it's a mix. There are moments that I still get AI responses, and or it says, hey, this is still AI. And I'm like, I'll go back to it. I'll take a screenshot of this. So if I get something, even after all of my training of Chakisha, I'll take a screenshot of this screen and I'll say, hey, this still sounds like AI. I need it to sound more human like. Are you clear on my voice? Right. And typically I've had to do it. There was one instance where I had to keep going back like two times. I think it was like two or three. Most has been three, but I'll tell it specifically, hey, this needs to sound more like me in this manner, right? So she gets it right. I would say about 85% of the time, but there's still that other 15% where I have to coach it. We'll coach her. Let's see. Burnwell has both free and pay features. They do. I just do. This is the only thing I use Brandwell for at all. I would treat yellow as red and rewrite the article. Exactly, David. That's exactly what I do. I keep going back to say, hey, this still isn't human enough, this still isn't human enough, and then go from there. Should I stop paying for Grammarly? I mean, Kenneth, you have to make that decision. I have Grammarly still. I still like it because there's some areas that if you're solely using Brandwell for AI detection, that's something that you're going to have to kind of see yourself, because at one point in time you may have to pay. I'm not sure, but I always go with, what tools am I comfortable with, right? What do I use all of these tools for? So like with Grammarly, I know when I'm writing text, Grammarly may make suggestions on something or a way to say something that I didn't think about, right? Okay, that's helpful for me. I'm not using it for one specific thing. So just make sure you outline what you're using Grammarly for, and see if Brandwell AI has the free resources for you, and go from there. See, I'm trying to catch up on the questions. Love when you share that. Okay, that. Thank you, everybody. Da, da, da. Firstly, shows you exactly where it's okay. So, and I think this does too, like it'll say, go back to, so you're all set. This content reads as human, as if a human written it. So if it's red, it'll say the same thing, right? Okay. Is everyone cool with Brandwell? How many of you will be, if you're not using Brandwell, you're going to at least check it out? Drop a one. Yes, or nope, that's okay. If you're typing yes once, okay, good. Make this a part of your tech stack, because again, it's going to help you to be you, right? While you're leveraging AI. And then what I do from there is I find a template in Canva that I love, and I just personalize it with the images that I want, um, making sure we've already made sure that this data is correct. Do I have any other suggestions for what exactly? Miss Smith, Latia, is that Latia? Grammar. Do I have any other suggestions for Grammarly, or just for grammar, something similar to Grammarly? I I don't. Maybe someone else, there are a lot of people on this call. Maybe someone else has a different suggestion. Like I said, I use Grammarly and I use Brandwell specifically for AI detection, but I don't use anything else other than that. Um, it's expensive, $249 a month. I do not see the free account for. Are you talking about for Brandwell AI? Let me go back. So I just did the AI detector. That's it. I went straight to there. Actually, let's see if I can look for the free product. So let me see if I can get out of the and show you. So the home screen will have free tools, right? And my computer's thinking. Always runs a lot slower. And so these are the two free tools, AI detector and AI image detector, right? And so that's how I end up using that. So you can go to free tools on Brandwell, and then that's where it is. Okay. Grammarly does do AI detection, LJ. Um, and I compared the two, and I like this one better. Again, it's all personal preference, right? If you like Grammarly, if you use it for the recommendations and to check your work, by all means keep using that. This is just another one that I particularly like a little bit better, because I had something in Grammarly pass as human, and when I put it in here, they said it was like AI-ish. So again, different platforms, different systems will use different configurations to really detect AI. I want the most stringent, right? Because I don't want to sound like a robot out here in the digital world. So getting back to Canva, again, I then personalize the template with all the information that I have, and now it's ready to go. Literally, I know it took me a while to explain this process to you, but it's not that long. I can literally have this done and possibly, I would say 20 minutes just because I've have it down to a science. I have the templates that I like saved. I have a process. So I don't know how much time you guys are spending on content creation, but this is really a way that I've been able to speed this along and get things done without sitting at a blank screen trying to be creative when I know that content creation is not my ministry. It is not. So I do want to put out, good content, stuff that's going to help people, and again, this isn't my ministry. It's not my ministry either. Tammy, it says, where do you create chatbots? Are you talking about GPTs? Is that what you're talking about? Does anyone else have any questions about the 4 products that I showed you before I jump back into the presentation? I'm not sure. Tammy, I'm gonna provide everyone with my contact information after this. Let's go into you can ask me that question or connect with me and I'll see if I can help you out. You can create GPTs in ChatGPT because I have a couple here. But again, it has to be I created 3. This one, and that one. The other 2 were provided to me actually by Alicia's team. So, all right. I'm going to jump back into the presentation if that's all right. Let's see here if I can do it. Dun, 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 dun. So, can you guys see my slides now? You should be able to. If not, then I'll reshare again. Someone said 1. Yes. All right. So these 4 tools will help you, again, amplify your brand voice and not someone else's. Jump, jump. We're jumping back. Oh, I will make sure I drop my contact information, you guys. So let's have a real conversation. There's still biases out there. There are people out there that are still crossing ethical boundaries deliberately and unconsciously. And so I think we have to be careful when we're doing or utilizing these tools to understand that the damage can be done to your brand, your professional, your business brand, as well as your professional brand if you're not using AI in an ethical manner. And what I mean by that is going the extra mile, making sure that you're checking the data that you're utilizing. I know I had a friend and I work all of my friends' nerves because sometimes I fact check their information. And I don't blast them on social media and say, "Hey, this isn't correct." But I'll send a note to them and say, "Hey, where'd you get this from? Because this is what I'm seeing." And and I do that specifically for the ones that own businesses because what I don't want them to be known for is again reporting information don't let other people's data contaminate your brand. Exactly. You've worked hard, right? I am trying to help them do the right thing. And they love me, but they're like, "Oh Lord, here comes the AI police." And it's like, no, as your friend, I want to protect you, right? Because I don't want you to be known out here in the streets for spreading information. So this really steps into the AI governance realm, right? And a lot of businesses, I've talked to different potential clients, and especially the businesses that say, you know what, I'm not having AI, I'm not welcoming it into my business. This doesn't apply to me. Well, yes, it does, right? And so I always ask them, of course, in a nice, respectful manner, are you sure that um, are you sure that there's no one in your organization utilizing AI? Well, no, not sure, because I'm quite sure someone's using um ChatGPT to answer an email, right? And so they'll say, well, then my second question is, did you tell them? right? Employees, I think employees, again, working from my human resources hat, I think employees really genuinely wake up and want to do the right thing, right? Now with everything, teams are lean, people are being asked to do more with less. I think they're just trying to find ways to, again, maximize their time. Burnout is real, right? And we're seeing that. We're seeing that more. So if you're not telling your team how to navigate this digital transformation and this journey, they're going to come up with their own way of doing it. So you need to set clear rules for your organization. For all of my entrepreneurs, even if you're small businesses, even if you're a solopreneur, start documenting how you're utilizing AI in your business now, right? So when you do hire someone, you already have that in place. You also want to know how these platforms, how these AI platforms are using your information and what data access you should actually give it, right? How much information should you allow this platform to have? How does this platform process your information? What does the offboarding process looks like as you scale and grow? Can it scale and grow with you? There are a lot of questions that you should be asking yourself, your team, if you have one, your customers, because all saw with, I always tell this story, Klarna 2 years ago, and because I read this, or I know it was 2 years ago, Klarna immediately adapted AI and there are a lot of jobs lost, right? A lot of their customer service team was let go because they utilize AI to answer their customers' concerns. Now, recently in the news, several months ago, they're hiring all these people back because their customers actually wanted to talk to a human being, right? So look at how much damage that that rash decision made. And now, if you're looking at me and say, hey, I want you to come back to my organization after I've terminated you because we thought AI could do it better than you. No, no, thank you. I'll go work for someone else that actually values me, right? Because that doesn't give me value vibes. And again, their intention may not have been deceitful, but guess what? You're dealing with people. So nothing can replace the human touch. Nothing can. And I agree with that. But again, there are tools out here that can help you. So getting back to, again, making sure you set up clear rules for yourself, making sure you set up clear rules for um, the platform coming on board, knowing how you're going to onboard it and offboard it. And you want to prioritize the human values. What makes your company you? um as it pertains to access, when should you turn on and off allow content to train others? I You know what, Cam, I'm going to go back to that question in a minute because it's going to depend, right? It's really going to depend. And I want to actually talk about too, is it a specific platform? um so yeah, let's talk about that in a second. But you want to prioritize the human values. Again, what makes you um off on ChatGPT. Okay, I think there is a switch in the back. There is a switch in the background of ChatGPT where you can turn it off so your information is not being used to train on so the large language model is not using your info to train on the information that you put on there. So there is a setting in ChatGPT. But again, prioritizing your human values. AI governance isn't just for large businesses or tech giants, right? It's smart business. It's for everyone. And so the sooner you guys jump on this and really understand how AI is being used in your business, how you're not going to use that and communicate that and document it, the better you will be as you continue to grow and expand in this space. So this is how you can start winning today. I always love a quick win. I don't like sitting in sessions where, again, it's great information, but I don't know where to start. And guess what? If I'm not able to quickly do something with it and feel accomplished, I don't do anything with it. How many of you are like that? Right? If you're sitting in a session and you're not able to gain a quick win, you're just like, okay, it was great. great information, but it kind of sits in the notepad and you do nothing else with it. Okay. See some me's in the chat. We listen and we don't judge. Okay. Because I'm like that. I want you to, if you have not, I want you to spend some time creating your AI's instructions that really truly capture who you are, right? Um, and also, I would encourage those that have done this, if it hasn't been within the last 2 weeks, or I would say the last 30 days, look at it again, right? Has anything changed with you? I find now that as a CEO, I'm growing every day, and there's certain things that I want to make sure that I'm clear on. And as I feel more confident, I want to take a more confident tone, right? I recently told Keisha, like, hey, I want to be seen as an expert in this space. I want to be seen as a trusted voice. And so I want the content that I deliver or that you create on my behalf as my ghostwriter to replicate that, right? I want it to show up in the way that I'm showing up. And she's like, "Go sis." Like all her affirmations are so funny, but it's like, "Yes." How often should we update our AI instructions? I and this may be overkill. Again, you're going to do what's comfortable for you, but I find myself visiting them monthly, right? Some people will say quarterly because a lot of things happen, but I'm telling you, on this entrepreneurial journey with myself, and as I implement and integrate new tools, right, and have different conversations and have different breakthroughs, it's important for me to stay grounded. Right. So I revisit them quite often because I'm always learning something. And it's like a fast track of, oh my God, I'm not the same person I was yesterday. So again, you're kind of going to know your rhythm. You're going to know when you have major milestones in your business. I would definitely, but on a quarterly basis, again, I do it monthly, but you can because you'll start to see sometimes Shakisha gets a little lazy. And I'm like, okay, right? What's happening? Do you know my voice? What's going on? So I found the monthly check-ins help out a lot. So I want you to create your AI instructions or update the ones that you currently have. Um, Now, also, also listen. Hear me when I say this. AI may provide you with the first draft of something, but you are the decision maker, right? You decide whether or not you use that piece of content. I think I shared earlier, Keisha will give me recommendations or suggestions for something. I'm like, no, that sounds nothing like me, right? We're not using that. She's like, okay, where did I go wrong? And that's a teaching moment. Okay, you need to sound more like this. So always remember, AI will give you ideas. You can brainstorm with it, but you are the final decision maker. You can add disclaimers. A lot of the social media tools will ask you, was this generated or created with AI? Be honest, right? I've had people say, "Well, I want to be authentic. I want to spend hours and hours looking at a blank screen, knowing that I put my hard work into creating content." Okay, that's for you. That's your ministry. That's not mine. What I want to spend time on is the strategy that will help me reach more people. Right? I want to make sure I'm delivering good content. I want to make sure I'm delivering content that's again a representative of who I am and the values that I hold near and dear to my heart, but I don't want that's not the thing that I want to spend the most time on because I want to make sure that my message is getting to people that need it that can take action today. So understanding what your strategy is and what you're doing and what's important to you and how you can reach the most people that you can, most of your clients and really be impactful, that's what you do, but be honest about it. Yes, this was created with AI. And then start a simple AI boundaries checklist. I now call it an AI protection plan because when I talk to people about AI governance, they're like, well, I don't need that because I'm not inviting it. But you do, everyone needs an AI protection plan. You need to understand what you're doing while you're operating with AI and having it work in your business. So start start a simple checklist. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but just understand how you're using AI in your organization and what that will look like, or if you're not. So this is the part we made it. And I actually have time for questions. So this is pretty awesome. I didn't ramble too long. Um, so I really want to connect with all of you. Here's the freebie, right? I'm giving you a free ethical AI starter kit. So this has a brand voice guide template in it. It also has a list of some of my favorite tools. And it also has a mini AI governance checklist. So I know Deidre dropped it in the chat. You can also scan this QR code. I promise I will not spam you with inundate you with emails all day long. I don't have time for that, but you will hear from me. So make sure you go ahead and download that, and let's get connected. So this is where you can find me. You can email me at tiffany@luxlinkbusinesssolutions.com. I'm also going to drop my LinkedIn in the chat. If you would like to connect with me on LinkedIn and continue the conversation, I welcome that as well. You can also visit my website at www.luxlinkbusinesssolutions.com. But I really want you to download your starter kit and implement one thing. I'll say next week because I know a lot of you guys are probably like, after this training, I'm done. Um, so make sure you do or implement a small win next week. And if you're interested in having, again, more conversation, we can book a strategy call. But that's it. So I'm going to stop sharing. And if there are any questions, I'm going to go back to the chat and just see if there's anything else that I can. Well, first of all, I have a question. Did you guys find value? Is this valuable for you today? Hopefully, that is my hope that it was, and that you're walking away with a new insight on, again, how to maintain your authentic voice while you're doing all of this. All right, I'm seeing the chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are there any questions?
So Tiffany, we have time for maybe 2 questions. So
Okay.
if anyone has a question, they can raise their hand and we pull them up.
Okay. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Or if I did such an amazing job, you can say that too. Very valuable, enhances my understanding of how to ensure my, okay. Moses.
Hi, good afternoon,
Hi.
Stephanie. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Yes.
I just want to know, since in the GPT, there's only GPT for your own account, but if I want to use many projects, if I am doing many projects, I heard you said a little bit, but I did not. Do you go and update that custom instructions that you gave the account?
Can you say that again?
Yeah, you said in order to understand your tone and style, you have to give it enough information in the custom
Mm-hmm.
instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but now if I'm dealing with so many projects, like I am in property, I'm in
Yeah.
education, I am in AI, I am in this, maybe I write many books, types of books. Do I use the same, what do you call it, that customized chat
Okay.
GPT for all of them?
So what I did, and I did put all that in there, I let ChatGPT know that I was a serial entrepreneur. So I front loaded everything. And now in the individual projects or conversations, I'll say if I'm making a request. So I made a request for some social media content ideas, and it started giving me social media content ideas for all 3 of my businesses. And I'm like, no, I only need it for LuxLink Business Solutions. So I was really specific in the individual chats on what I needed and for what business entity. Now, you can forego and not putting any of that in there in the back end, but you're going to have to then put it when you're talking through in the individual chats. Does that make sense? So I just put it all in there, and then I went back and said, okay, I only need it for, I know you know about this business, business A, B, and C. I only need this question asked for business C, right? I only need an answer for that. Does that answer your question?
Oh, yes, yeah, to some extent. In other words, during your prompting or instructions, you can just specify that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's how I do it.
Okay, okay. No, thank you. I got it.
Or you
Right.
can do
Thank
it the other way and not include any of that information in the back and just tell it when you're in the individual chats what you want, but you're going to then still have to provide that information. And if you're using ChatGPT for all of your businesses, sometimes it's just best to put it in there and then tell it specifically, okay, this is what I need it for, because you may have to continue to repeat yourself with that. Anyone else? Great takeaway. You said AI is growing and I am changing too. I'm not the same person who I was yesterday, growing at the speed I am. I mean, it's like you're reading so much information, like this is information overload. And again, the more I read, the more I know, the more confident I am. So yeah. May I see the connecting slide again? Oh, yes, sorry. Let me share my screen really quickly. Sorry about that. Share. Hopefully you can see that. Can you guys see the connection screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Are there any other questions? I love feedback too.
All right.
All
So
right.
Tiffany, we have Cynthia asking if the custom GPTs are not on the same side, how can she find them? She's trying to understand how best to organize
If the custom GPTs are not on,
the same side. How can she find them again?
I think I'm a little, I guess I'm a little confused on the same side of, hold on.
All right. Let me see if Cynthia can come on the
Yeah,
microphone.
see if she can come on so I can talk through that. Oops, sorry. Because I'll bring up my screen so I can kind of.
Go
Okay,
ahead
here I
and
am.
unmute. Go ahead
Okay.
and
Hi
unmute.
there. So you
Hi.
can only hear my voice because the video is gone. So I'm just trying to understand this. So for my team, we're going to be doing quite a bit of custom chat GPTs, like for
Okay.
images, it'll walk them through that. For a blog post, how to write a blog, it'll walk them through that. And so what my understanding is they'll be put on the left under the column GPTs.
Okay. Yeah.
They can get extensively long, so I'm just trying to understand how to best organize them and also understand the concept of new projects, like the difference between, that's what I'm just trying to figure out organization and what's the difference between that and new project and stuff like that.
Okay. So can you see my ChatGPT screen? You can see that?
Yes.
Okay. So
I see
there's a
that.
thing there for my GPTs and it has them all there.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, as it pertains to your project, so I created project folders, and what I do, come on, is that there are individual conversations in there. But this is all for my one business. So that's how I utilize the project feature. And even if you have conversations below, like maybe let's just say, I don't know, mirror moments. Let's say this conversation should actually be in LLBS. I just take it and drag it up there. So everything having to do with LuxLink Business Solutions is in that project folder.
Nice. So you can drag it there. So if
Yep.
you open up a project folder, does that one project have a new voice for you since you are having multiple businesses in those projects?
I train it. So I'll train it in that first conversation. I'll go in and say, okay, this is a business. I just want you to understand my voice for LuxLink Business Solutions. That's what I did when I created this folder. Tell me what you know about LuxLink right now, right?
Okay.
And then that's the very first conversation that I have.
That is so helpful to know. I had been so confused how you could have different things and not and have different different I guess people, how you want to be represented. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you for the question. And thank you for coming on, because I was like, what does she mean? I want to make sure that I answered it correctly.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Thank you. And I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Oh, we're right at time, Deja. Do we have any more?
That's it.
Okay. You guys, well, it has been amazing, 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 amazing. Can I stop sharing my screen? Oh, maybe I did. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Deidre, I'm going to turn it over to you. What do you?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffany. We have David over here saying he needs an encore session from you. So we might just be calling you back, Tiffany.
Yes, thank you. I love those. I love the callbacks.
Yes, great presentation, very informative, very energetic, and we thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.